Leetcode 152, maximum product subarray. It's a medium problem and is quite standard for medium, so nothing especially hard or especially easy, but maybe a little bit on the easier side, at least for mediums. So here is the description. Given an integer array, nums, that's our input, we have an array, linear structure with elements inside, and those elements are always integers, meaning like integer numbers, but could be both positive and negative. And that's the only input that we have. And here is the task, find a subarray. And here is additional explanation. A subarray is a continuous non-empty sequence of elements within an array. Yeah, so there are a couple of sub things or subgroups in those types of Leetcode problems. There is like subset, subsequence, and so on. And subarray is a special case where we have to keep the order the same way as in the input data structure. Yeah, so for example, let's take a look at example 1. And here we have array for input 2, 3, -2, and 4. Those are the individual elements, and a subarray, for example, would be just 2, yeah, or 2 and 3, or 2, 3 and -2. But we couldn't do something like this, that take 2 and 3 and then 4. Yeah, that wouldn't be a subarray, because in this case you would introduce a break, yeah, and order and this closeness matters. Yeah, so you cannot have you have to have all of them next to each other, and you cannot have breaks or like empty spaces or remove elements between them. And you have to keep them the exact same way as they arrive. That's a subarray that has the largest product. And product meaning result of multiplication. And of course, if there were only positive integers here, we could just multiply everything together. But because we have also negative, then the situation is a little bit more interesting, but still not very hard since it's a subarray. So there are no like a case where we can, for example, mix up order or something like this. Yeah. So the only thing that we care is take the first subarray, check its product, then the next one, and so on, up until you find the one with the largest product, and return the product. And that's also another simplification, that we only have to return the number, like the result of this multiplication itself. We don't have to keep track of positions or indices, where it starts, where it ends, and so on. That's all you can just ignore. And the only thing that we care about is the actual result of this operation. And additional thing, the tests or the test cases are generated so that the answer will fit in a 32-bit integer. And that's something relevant for languages like C or C++, where you can have different data types, and the programmer or the one that is coding can specify the type. Like here we have hints in Python, but you have many more types in other languages. And for integers, you can have, for example, have some types which are a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. For example, 32-bit is not the biggest one available, and in this case, if you use a smaller one, you can save some memory. Yeah, so it is useful information, but not in this case. But if you are coding in another language, you can of course take advantage of it. And here are the examples. Example 1, nums, our input, 2, 3, -2, and 4. Yeah, and the output is of course 6. Why? Because this is the best possible subarray we can take. 2 times 3 is 6, but if we multiply it by -2, we get -12, which of course is less than 6, and we have this number 4, but we cannot use it with either 3 or 2 because those are not its immediate neighbors. We would have to multiply it by -2, but then we are getting -8, which is again a negative number, and 6 is bigger than any negative number, so the result is 6. And in the second example, we have -2, 0, and -1, and here the output is 0. And they are giving additional explanation. The result cannot be 2 if we, for example, multiply -2 and -1, that's 2, but -2 and -1 is not a subarray. So that was the thing that I was trying to highlight, and I hope that you understand. So now let's maybe copy this as well, the title, and let's think about a solution, an algorithm that we can use. Our task is to find maximum product, and where? In subarrays. So the best subarray for this. And we will have to, for sure, iterate through each element. Because how else can we get those subarrays? We have to check at least each element at least once, but not more than once. We want to be as efficient as possible, but at least once it is necessary. Otherwise, you would not know what kind of values they're stored. And the next thing, we can or simply keep track of two helper variables, max and min. And I will explain in a second what exactly will be those max and min, and why do we need them. And we need them because, for example, if we didn't have those negative numbers, the single variable would be enough. We would just multiply the first element times the second and so on, and that's it. But because we are oscillating between positive and negative, we have to keep track of this or somehow deal with this situation. And the thing is that two negative numbers give you, like if you multiply two negative numbers, you have a positive result. So every time each time we encounter negative number, we will swap max, and that's more or less everything that we will do here. And now, what exactly is this max and min? At the beginning, we can initialize both of them with the first element, 2. And then, for max, we will update with the maximum between the previous, not the previous value, sorry, the next element. So we start our iteration from the second element. This was element with index 0, this element with index 1, and the first one we already used. So we start with 3. And each time we will be trying to find the maximum between new element, the one that we have right now in our iteration, and the result of multiplication of previous value of max and that element. And so that's, of course, 6. 2 times 3 is 6. And the maximum between 3 and 6 is what? 6. And the same thing we will do for min. And you will see in a second why we do this. And here, the minimum between 3 and 6 is 3. Now, that was the first element. Now we are iterating. We continue our iteration, and we have -2. But first, let's update. And this and this. 6, sorry, 6, and here 3. And we can copy it here. And so those are our initial or current values, not the initial, current values. And now we do the same thing as before. We have maximum between -2 and here also -2 for the minimum. And one more thing, each time we encounter negative number, swap. And so we have to swap first 3 and 6. Yeah, and now we have a multiplication between -2 and previous value of max, which was 3. So -2 and the maximum between -2 and -6 is -2. And the minimum value between here the -2 and 6 will be -12. -2, and here the result is -12. Okay, so we update this. Check. The old values can be removed, and here we have -2, and here we have -12. I would pop it here. And like this. This goes away. And now we have the last element, 4. So let's put 4 here, 4 here. And here will be -2. And here will be -12. So 4 times -12 is -48. And 4 times -2 is -8. And those are the new values. Sorry, here in the maximum, it's a max, so 4. Yeah, maximum between 4 and -8 is 4. And that will be 4. Make it a bit bigger. That will be -48. Like this. And now we have finished our iterations, and we did all the possible operation, and now we have to find which value of max was the biggest. 4, -2, 2, or 6. And of course it was 6. Oh, that's the final answer. And let's do it one more time, maybe not fully, but just let's copy this here. And let's start from here. What will happen if we had here -1 as well? If we modify the input array to continue to contain 2 negative numbers, and as we said, multiplication of 2 negative numbers will give us positive number. So up until this point, everything should be the same, like this, like this. Add 3 -2, and now is the next iteration, where we will see the beauty of our algorithm. -1 here. So let's remove this. -2 and -12. And swap. So we have to do a maximum between -1. That's all updated -1. -1, and -1 times -12, which is 12. And here -6. No, sorry, the previous is -2. Have to update, forgot to update. So -1 times -2 is 2, and between 2 and -1, the -1 is smaller. Yeah, so now we can update 12 and -1, and let's remove the previous values and just the last iteration. and where we will have 12 minus 1, and here we will have 4. So 4, 4. Let's also move here. 4 and 4. And here will be minus 4, and here 48. So the new value will be minus 4 and 48. 48 and minus 4. So this should be a bit bigger, like this. And that's, of course, the best, the biggest value that we have encountered so far. And that's the correct result. As you can see, in this case, in case of such an input, we could simply multiply all the elements, and that would be the best subarray. Yeah, and this method allowed us to do it painlessly. And so now we can just translate it to Python and see if it will work here as well. Let's see. Maybe like this. I don't know if it can be empty or not. No, it cannot be empty. But if the length is 1, and then we just return the first number, and otherwise we will keep track of our max, min, and the result. Let's just initialize all 3 of them with the first element of our input array, and by the end return the result. And now we can iterate for number in nums, starting from the first index, since we have already used 0th index, the first element here. And if number is less than 0, then we do the swap. Between max and min. Otherwise, we do the same operation as we did here. So max will be max between the number and current max times the number. And same for min. The minimum between number and current minimum. And we can also update the result if current max is bigger than the max that we have found so far. And that's it. So let's run. Let's see, num. And it's not called num, it's called number. Worked for the first 2 cases and also for all the cases. Let's see if we can get a better result. Just by rerunning, now we beat 89%, and probably if we run again, we will be even faster. Oh, this time we were slower. Yeah, but it's, as you can see, it's not stable. It's the same implementation, but if you are lucky, you can be a little bit faster, or if you are unlucky, a bit slower.